It's time for the podcast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, what's up? What's up? Jane Hamill. Let's talk about doing the bare minimum. That's your goal, right? Do the minimum of everything. Okay, just kidding. It's not. And there are times in your life when you have so much happening in your personal life that you just need to do the bare minimum at work. Like whatever it takes to keep the business going while you handle all the other shit. Personally, I'm going through a little something like that with a family situation. Everything is fine, nothing to be worried about, but it's, it's busy. And so it prompts me to remember what are the things that absolutely need to get done so I can take care of business over here in this other area of my life. One of my clients recently put up like an Instagram story. It was so good. It was like a recording of a coaching session that she was in, a group session. And the woman was saying, and I wish I could remember who it was, but to give her credit, but the woman was saying, I'm dealing with this big personal thing right now. So I really think I have to like shut my business down to handle this other stuff. And just like, I think I can't deal with all of this. And the coach said, now let's look at it like this. What if you had a new baby, like an actual human, a new baby, and you had this baby, and yet there was some big personal thing that was happening, a crisis, a family situation, an illness, whatever, things that happen in life. But you had this human that you are, love and you need to keep alive. What would you do? And the entrepreneur thought about it, and she's like, a real baby. If I had a baby, she's like, but I don't have a baby. She's like, I know you don't have a baby. Pretend it's a baby. Pretend your business is like a human baby. Now what? What would you do? You can't shut the baby down. You can't just take off from the baby, but you have this legit, huge issue. What would you do? And the entrepreneur was like, well, let's see. I would do the minimum that I had to do to take care of the baby. I would get help, and I would just be okay with doing the least amount of things that I needed to do, knowing it wasn't going to last forever. And she said, yeah, exactly. So what I've seen is when people do go through a ton, which we all do, someone has sick kids, someone has sick parents, someone has their own illnesses. We're moving. So much goes on. We get divorced, we get married, things happen. How do you keep everything going in the business so you have a business to go back to when the crisis ends? Well, you do the minimum. So what's the minimum? The other day I'm starting to send out like a Monday motivation-y kind of email, which has been super fun and people are digging it. And I sent out an email saying, if your doctor came to you and said, you can only work 4 hours a week, what would you do with that time? And some of you responded back and it was super interested. So today's prompt, I want you to grab a sheet of paper, grab a pencil, and just write down, if I could only work 4 hours a week, what would I do? Would you just send 1 email a week, or would you queue up 2 emails a week? Would you add money to your ads so you didn't have to be actively posting organically on social? Would you finally hire that, real good virtual assistant or personal assistant, whatever, to repurpose your content for you? What would you do if you could only do the bare minimum? And I do love the 4 hours a week because that is bare minimum, right? 4 hours a week. What would you do with your time? How could you deal with whatever you want to deal with and still keep your revenue up with 4 hours a week? Because for most of you, if you're in business already, you could do that. You could. Yes, you may have to outsource more things, delegate more things. But for any of you who are actually part of your production process or sewing or doing anything like that does not actively contribute to the bottom line, that would need to stop immediately. So do this exercise. I know you don't want to do it, but things are going to come up and you're going to have to do the bare minimum. Are you prepared? What is the bare minimum? I know during the pandemic, we realized we could do a lot less in our lives. We realized there's a lot of things that we don't really need that we spend time on. It's the same for your business, right? So I just think about Princess Awesome, one of Rebecca and Eva. When the pandemic happened, they lost their, first of all, they're both homeschooling and they lost their social media person, and they didn't do social media for over a year and their sales went up, right? So what are we spending on time on that really doesn't need to be done? That if you knew you could only work 4 hours, you would stop it immediately and make a different plan. I went through this exercise on Monday. I'm taping this on a Thursday, and I actually did the exercise so I could put it in the Monday email of like, this is what I would do. And I have not made one single change or taken an action on that plan since, which is like amazing to me because I finally like did that plan. It took me like 10 minutes because I didn't want to say, you guys do this exercise, then I wasn't going to do it for myself. And I'm like, oh my God, that would be so much smarter. Like maybe I don't need a podcast every week, like rethinking all the things to do the minimum, but get the same results. So that is my challenge for you. And so many of you are just at the edge. You're sick of it. You're not making enough money. You're working too hard, and you know there's a better way. If that's you, I may be the right business coach for you. I may not. I don't know. Maybe you're ready for a coach. Maybe you're ready to start looking at things differently. Simple things that can take you from working your ass off and being exhausted to making the same amount of money and more by working so much less, or honestly, just whatever we can do. And I know you can do it. I know you can, to be making at least like the same amount of money, working less, or really making a lot more revenue with a few tweaks. So you're not working any harder. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. So if you're in that position and you're interested in coaching, I'm open for coaching. I haven't done private coaching. I've been doing it now for a few months. I haven't done it in years, really, not much. But I'm back, baby, and I'm so loving it. So you'll find a way to get on my calendar to talk about what might be right for you, if and how I can help. If you have a business that's going and it's going pretty well and you want it to be different, you want more income, you don't want to be working so hard, you don't want to feel as much stress. You own a business, there's going to be stress, but you want it to be easier. I really think it could be time for you and I to talk. fashionbrainacademy.com/calendar. That is where you'll find the action. See you next time, guys.